Oh yeah, I mean, he talked about all of his experiences at LIU, how much he really enjoyed the university, and how much the swimming team was really just so much a part of him, and particularly the year that he was coaching the swimming team, that it was like part of his family, and it really meant a lot to him as he was kind of growing up and going through his years here. Probably the biggest part of like when he was on the team was the year that they kind of had I believe it was like a 10-1 season where they had pretty much, they were undefeated most of the season except for one match that they had, and just the memories and the camaraderie that built up amongst the team, and just how much, again, it was such an important part for his life at that time. Sure, I mean, after he finished up at LIU, he then went on to pretty much wrapped up his swimming career at that point after he went to the 1960 Olympic trials. And then as he finished up the university, he started playing handball with his brother. Pretty much for the next 25 years up until his death, he was a national handball champion, competed in multiple tournaments all year long, and competed both in his age brackets and also in the open brackets, and was just nationally recognized for all the championships that he completed during those years. It's humbling. It's really a great experience. We're just so thrilled. It's a wonderful experience for his grandchildren that never got to meet him. They're getting to learn so much about him today and about what he did in his life and all of his accomplishments. My father was pretty much a pretty humble guy and never really boasted about his accomplishments that he did during his years at LIU. I mean, we knew he swam, but you never really got a full appreciation for it. And today, I think the family's really getting to enjoy that experience of what it was like.
And we have a first tonight. First time I've actually eaten dinner at the Hall of Fame. That's a first. But also, we've had several sports. We talked about the fact that we had football here 80 years ago, 70, 80 years ago. We also had a great gymnastics program. We had men's tennis. And we had a men's wrestling program. And we had a terrific swimming program. Well, we had one swimmer in our swimming program from 1959 to 62 who was not just the best swimmer at LIU, he was one of the top 3 or 4 swimmers in the country and one of the top 7 or 8 swimmers in the world. This guy was no joke. He finished 3rd in the Olympic trials in the 200-meter freestyle. Correct me if I'm wrong when you come up. He was a member of the 4x100 relay team at the Pan Am Games that won the championship. He was a 1958 U.S. national champion and record holder. He was a record holder in the 200-yard breaststroke. He was a world record holder in the 100-yard breaststroke. So we're talking about a legit, big-time, international swimming star. Okay, doesn't get much better than this. We've been lucky to find his family. We weren't sure if this was gonna happen, and through the help of Charles Crobot, who's here somewhere here tonight. Charlie, are you here still? Maybe not. But we were able to find his son Fred, and today I was able to meet his brother Ed and his sister Samantha. So to accept the honor for the great Fred Munsch are his children.
First, I would like to congratulate all of this year's inductees. I have to say it's truly an honor to be here with all of you tonight and to represent my father. On behalf of my brother and sister, I would like to thank Long Island University and the Department of Athletics for honoring our father with this award. Like our father who would have been, we are truly humbled by the recognition of his accomplishments. Additionally, as Greg mentioned, we'd also like to thank Mr. Charlie Crobot for taking the time and interest to gather all the history on our father and present it to the university. What a complete, selfless act of kindness that the whole Munsch family truly appreciates. For those of you that knew my father during his years at LIU, you probably knew how much he loved the sport of swimming and how much he tried to have all facets of his life center around that activity. From swimming on the school team to being head lifeguard at Rockaway Beach, swimming was his passion. Additionally, you may also recall that he was also very humble when it came to his swimming accomplishments. Besides talking about all the enjoyment that he had while he was at LIU, he was never one to boast or brag about what he actually did at LIU. To give you an example of how humble he was, I recall the first time that I learned of what an accomplished swimmer that he was. It was back in 1980, so yeah, it's going quite a ways back. I was in 4th grade, my brother Ed was in 1st grade, and it was an Olympic year. The Winter Olympics had just finished, and we were all pumped up about the upcoming Summer Olympics. Obviously, this was before the announcement of the boycott of the Moscow Olympics. One day, I'd gone into school, and I found out that we were having a school assembly. Like all other kids, I was excited just because of the fact that we were going to get out doing schoolwork that day. We heard that the assembly was about sports and about the Olympics. In the auditorium, grades 1 through 5 were all seated in their respective rows, and the principal introduced the guest speaker. Well, guess who comes out? None less than my father. Now picture me knowing nothing about his athletic past at this point in time. The first thing that runs through my mind was, you've got to be kidding me. What is he doing up there? My friends are here. They can't see this. But then I settled down, started to relax, and I started to listen to the stories of how he was a recognized All-American swimmer, I believe it was 3 times over, how his 4x100 relay team took first place in the Pan American Games, and then how he went on to the 1960 Olympic trials in Detroit, came in 3rd place by 1/10 of a second, then to only find out that that was the one year they only took the top 2 places to the Olympics. I was in complete shock and awe. I had no idea he was a man of such accomplishments, and until that moment, to my brother and I, he was just plain old Dad. I remember saying to him after school that day, "Why didn't you ever tell us about this before?" And in that same humble way, he responded with a shrug of his shoulders, and he said, "It wasn't a big deal." Pure and simple, for Fred Munsch was a man that competitively swam for the enjoyment of the sport and the love of his team. The rest of it was not that big a deal. What many of you might not realize, though, was that after he finished his swimming career, he started another sporting career, handball. For the next 25 years, until the day of his death, he was also a nationally recognized handball champion. Over the years, he had won countless national titles, both in his age bracket and in the open bracket. In short, sports was pretty much a part of his life from beginning to end. Thank you again for the acknowledgement of our father with this honor, and for now, his grandchildren can be as proud of their grandfather that they'd never met as the boy in the auditorium was in that seat in 1980. Thank you very much.